Kenya's first national park was created in 1946. Today we celebrate having more than 65 national parks and reserves as well as conservancies. This is equivalent to 8% of Kenya's total landmass. Kenya Wildlife Service is a state corporation established by an Act of Parliament in 1989 with a mandate to conserve and manage wildlife throughout Kenya. Kenya Wildlife Service has the legal mandate to conserve and manage wildlife in the country and enforce related laws and regulations. Within a short span, Kenya Wildlife Service has emerged as a vibrant organization with identity and integrity, recognizing and encouraging staff creativity.
We've been able to put certain systems that guide how employees are managed and how they are motivated. Our employees are highly motivated to the point where they're willing to put their lives on the edge for the sake of conservation.
This has seen Kenya Wildlife Service win several awards, both local and international.
We are the only super brand government institution in East and Central Africa. All the other super brands are private sector institutions. We are the only ones.
How best then can Kenya Wildlife Service maintain the position reached so far?
We look forward to seeing greater KWS presence and contribution to the economy of the Republic of Kenya.
Kenya's wildlife is one of the richest and most diversified in Africa, with a number found in protected areas and wetlands that are internationally recognized and protected as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, Ramsar Sites, and Man and Biosphere Reserves.
The Ramsar Convention, which Kenya is a party to, advocates for wise use of wetlands, and Kenya Wildlife Service is the administrative authority for the Ramsar Convention in Kenya. And being an administrative authority, it advocates for wise use of wetlands and actually bringing in stakeholders to implement the convention's principles.
The Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, to which Kenya is party, provides a framework for the wise use of wetlands. Kenya has 5 listed Ramsar sites, namely Lake Nakuru, Lake Naivasha, Lake Bogoria, Lake Baringo, and Lake Elementaita. These wetlands help to make Kenya an ornithologist's paradise with over 1,137 bird species. Diversified wildlife includes well-known species such as the African elephant, lion, rhinoceros, giraffe, various antelope and buffalo, as well as reptiles, insects and plants. With pride in various Kenya Wildlife Service achievements, especially on the confidence, much more remains to be done.
One of the units we created was the canine unit, or you might call it dog unit. We have now 3 different types of dogs. We have search dogs, we have tracker dogs, and we have sniffer dogs. The most successful has been our sniffer dogs at our ports of entry and exit, especially our airports and seaports. We also have a host unit. Now the host unit is supposed to help in patrol in mountainous areas, and we have them in Mount Kenya, we have them in Aberdare National Park and Mount Elgon National Park.
Many wildlife species and wild places are in jeopardy, but 1,000 uplifting stories remain untold. Much has been said. Articles have been written that highlight the wonder of our natural world, which can motivate people to take action in behalf of conservation. It is true all over the world, wildlife are in grave danger. They are being exterminated by what we call progress of civilization. Some of these species are endangered and threatened from poaching and the bushmeat trade. Inappropriate land use practices and pasture of livestock, together with habitat encroachment, has resulted in human-wildlife conflict. Humans settling on traditional and migratory dispersal routes has restricted elephant movements, which has also resulted in human-wildlife conflict.
One of the strategies we have deployed is that we have established a problem animal management unit, which is a highly skilled force that comes in to enforce the field
rangers when the conflict becomes intense.
Where we cannot change human settlements, we put now other barriers. And our number one line of defense now in managing human-wildlife conflict is electric fences. In Kenya today, we have 1,400 kilometers of electric fence, probably some of the longest fences in the world.
Secondly, KWS is engaging the communities who host wildlife on their land to establish these areas as community-managed conservancies.
To protect wildlife populations and conserve their habitats, Kenya Wildlife Service has adopted an all-inclusive strategy encompassing the strengthening of law enforcement, enhancing wildlife industry governance, and maintaining ecological integrity. One of Kenya Wildlife Service's main challenges lies in fighting the ever-increasing sophistication of wildlife crime. The demand of rhino horn and elephant tusk has been increasing in the international market, and this is a major challenge for conservation in the 21st century.
We warned the world that allowing partial trade will trigger poaching, and that is exactly what has happened. Since 2007, we have seen an upsurge in poaching, not only in Kenya, but across the continent, even in Asia.
Unless and until ivory and rhino horns are made illegal worldwide, without exception, barbaric elephant and rhino poaching will continue threatening the survival of elephants and rhinos. As for now, elephants, rhino and other species will have to contend with hunting as their population is decimated by the effect of poaching driven by illegal trade.
As a country, we are supporting total ban in ivory trade, and we are calling upon the world to ensure that elephants remains in Appendix 1 and total ban in sales remains in force until we address the current illegal killing and the current smuggling of ivory across the globe.
On July 18, 1989, His Excellency Honorable Daniel Moi, retired President of the Republic of Kenya, torched 12 tons of ivory inside Nairobi National Park. 22 years later, on July 20th, 2011, His Excellency Honorable Mwai Kibaki, the President of the Republic of Kenya, torched 5 tons of ivory, which had been confiscated in Singapore.
If the murdering of elephants throughout the continent for their teeth continues, there is not going to be any elephant left in the continent of Africa.
On a local level, we need to have serious penalties.
Management of wildlife conservation is very expensive, especially for the larger mammals. Conservation philosophy requires that Kenya Wildlife Service be financially self-sufficient and biologically sustainable. Every 12 months, Kenya Wildlife Service has a deficit of $11 million, and it gets worse with a volatile tourism market. To address this, Kenya Wildlife Service has set up the Kenya Wildlife Service Fund, which aims to raise a total of $100 million over a 10-year period with your support.
Much of our wildlife is in areas where people are extremely poor. And I would like to urge the world to come and join us. This third world country, but very rich in biodiversity, that we participate together. Let us work together to see how we can fund wildlife conservation for all generations, for the entire world.
We envision a world where true value is placed upon wildlife and wild areas. A world where imaginative, cutting-edge conservation projects consistently motivate and involve the public and result in measurable benefits for both people and wildlife. This planet's remaining wildlife are under dire threat, and although our generation will not witness the last of these extraordinary creatures, ours may be the generation that decides their fate. If we don't conserve now, several million species, which are products of several million years of evolution, could be lost forever during our lifetime.
And I'm appealing to the entire world. Let us work together. Let us see how we can collectively protect this rich biodiversity which we still have in this part of the world for all of us. Kenya government cannot do it alone. We have to do it together.
Join and support us in conserving the world's heritage.